So Donald Trump wants to be the commander-in-chief of the United States. As we fight terrorism around the globe, one of his ideas, which has gotten a firestorm of coverage and criticism as of late, is to keep Muslims out of the country temporarily until our representatives, quote, figure out what the hell is going on. But how would this affect the military? What would this in any way put us in a very ominous position with countries that were trying to get on board to fight ISIS? For more on that, let's go to Admiral Joe Sestak. He is running for the United States Senate in Pennsylvania. Joe, good to have you back with us.
Good to be with you, Ed. Thanks.
What do you anticipate the military reaction to this being, that we start picking and choosing human beings who can come into the United States when we're trying to really embrace the Muslim world, the Arab world, to fight ISIS?
The military will, obviously, as always, keep its mouth shut and keep stepping forward. But its leadership will actually have it very consciously in their minds, because a lot of what we do at the top level in the military is do the engagement with leaders of these countries that at times our men and women walk through. For example, when the Arab Spring was happening, and if you remember, Egypt was going down in some very difficult ways, and the military was about to impose a dictatorship there, it was the president turned to our military leaders to talk with them. We do the same thing in Pakistan. General Zinni, retired, would go out and talk with them. The chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff would talk with them, because the militaries in these countries often control so much. And so our military leaders aren't being helped by this at all, because when you have someone who could potentially, let's hope it's not going to happen, become the leader of the United States as commander-in-chief like Donald Trump wants to be, and he's saying no Muslims, my gosh, of course it makes a significant problem. And on a lower level, well, we all know that idea is to actually inflame people. Yeah, does it make a problem? You bet it does.
So this was really a tunnel vision by Donald Trump, not realizing the global ramifications that we are attempting to be a global partner with the Arab world to fight ISIS. And it's kind of tough to go in and militarily and negotiate or work out some type of coordinated effort when you come from the position, by the way, we're not letting people of your faith into our country for a while until we get it together. It just, I don't know how you get around that.
You said it well, Ed. Look, President Clinton talked about what leadership is, to elevate the condition of men. Leaders are supposed to be rising people to a higher level. Donald Trump, all he does is prey upon concerns, at times fears of people. He doesn't higher expectations. He lowers our character by actually denigrating and playing to the most base of motives. This is a leader? Absolutely not.
And yet
nobody in the United States military would follow a person in battle like that out there if he was platoon leader, because you know that he's about himself and politicizing anything to gain what he wants. That's all it's about.
Interesting. And yet he is trying to figure out where all the hatred's coming from. Here it is.
So you have been saying that until we figure out what's going on. What exactly does that mean? Figure out what? What is there to figure out?
Why is there such hatred and such viciousness? Why is somebody willing to fly airplanes into the World Trade Center and go after it even prior to that? They failed, although they did tremendous damage by any normal standard. And then after they failed, they went and they actually took airplanes into the World Trade Center. Where does this hatred come from? Why does it come? We have to figure it out, because we have problems. So when you surveil the mosques, I took a lot of heat for the surveillance of the mosques. Well, now other people are saying, well, we have to surveil the mosques.
What do you think of that, Admiral?
How inexcusable, how shameful. Much as Joe Welch said to Joe McCarthy during the communist witch hunts to Senator Joe McCarthy, have you no decency, sir? Look, I walked on the ground in a Muslim country in Afghanistan when I headed the Navy's anti-terrorism unit. I fought alongside my carrier battle group as we were doing strikes with those of the Muslim faith. They would have laid down their life for me, and I for them. To all of a sudden say, no, we don't welcome those of the Muslim faith is absolutely inexcusable. He is shameful.
Isn't it hard to believe that 65% of the Republicans agree with Trump?
I find that number, when I read it this morning, kind of set me back. And this is my concern. People have to understand, who are in public office today, that their job is to be out there. This is America. We are a democracy about leadership. Yes, there's the conflict of ideas, but if we don't have those down in Washington, D.C., standing up on both sides and filling the vacuum to gain the trust of people and telling them that this war is absolutely one we must fight, but it is about people who are criminals. It is not about a faith, and we will have a false prophet, someone who wants to shame our best character, actually filling that void. If there was a time for leadership, it's now, and we don't have enough of it right now. And unfortunately, Trump is filling the air.
Admiral Joe Sestak, you can find him at Joe Sestak, Sestak, and that is .com. JoeSestak.com, running for the United States Senate in Pennsylvania, spent 30 years in military intelligence, Admiral in the Navy. Admiral, good to have you with us, always.
Good to be with you. Have a great day.
You bet. You too.